morning, everyone. Today is December 4th, I think. Yes, I think. I'm very tired. Today marks the release of Metroid Prime 4 for both the Nintendo Switch 1 and 2. Obviously, we're going to be picking up the Switch 2 version of the game today, but I don't know. Am I excited? I'm not 100% sure. It seems like the reviews for this game is kind of all over the place. I'm still looking forward to giving it a try, especially from what I had played of the demo when you guys saw me do that video. I thought it was pretty good, but granted that was, what, like 15 minutes? Like can happen in a video game. There can be one spot that's really good for 15 minutes, and then you get further through the game and it's garbage. Which, yeah, the reviews are all over the place. I was very, very surprised by the Metacritic score. I really was expecting it to be 87 was my prediction, which was still going to be kind of low for a Meteoroid game, but dropped, well, actually it's gone up a little bit higher, but it initially was a 79, which is the same score that Other M got, which if you guys haven't seen Other M, that one has been very, I don't want to say controversial. A lot of people just straight up do not like it. There's a lot of people, there's very few people that actually like it. And when the Prime 4 score came out, it was right there at it, and that shocked a lot of people. Now it's gotten up to an 81, but that's still a lot lower than a lot of people expected. And it's just having people concerned about the game. But besides the point, I'm really looking forward to now getting my hands on it. That way we can figure out, is this game good? Is people overreacting? Are there the right reviewers reviewing this game? Because there's just so much stuff. But I will say every review seems to be completely different on things that they like and don't like. And there has been very positive reviews. It's just so weird to see what's happening with this game, because if you look at every single review, it's all completely different. And I don't feel like I've seen that happen before with a video game in quite some time, where everyone has a completely different review on it. Normally you see a lot of people say similar things, but everything seems to be totally different. But that's besides the point. I have a pre-order for this game at the GameStop, and nothing else really comes. Actually, the other amiibo comes out. We're not picking up the amiibos this time, just due to the fact that it's overpriced, man. I cannot justify myself buying the amiibo, especially when it was found out that one of the features of the amiibo is just going to unlock music for you. Like when you're in the desert area driving around, you unlock a jukebox. I'm like, what? We're paying $40 for that? Which is absolutely insane. But I do hope we can take a look. Like the Silex amiibo looks really nice, but I just can't justify it. Alright, so we have arrived to the GameStop. There is no pre-order bonuses, but I have heard that some of the GameStops have become Meteoroid themed, where they have a lot of stuff inside. So I figured we would go inside to see if they have any cool promo stuff to show off, and also look at some of the games that they have available as we go pick up our pre-order. So let's go ahead and go inside. Well, I guess I'm not picking up the game right now. That is extremely bad timing for me. But hey, I totally understand that GameStops, they have to have a break, of course. But yeah, I really think times like this, though, GameStop should have at least 2 employees on hand for like big releases. But that's okay. And wait, today's the trade-in anything day, isn't it? No, that's tomorrow. Wow, that's going to be a chaotic day for all GameStops. But I will be sitting here for about 10 minutes, not too bad, as I wait for GameStop to open up and pick up my amazing pre-order. I do see the store. It is Meteoroid themed inside, so that is pretty cool. But we should be in there in about 10 minutes. So we're inside a GameStop. They do have promo stuff. So this area used to be all Kirby themed, but they got like a giant cardboard Prime 4 poster right there. They also got like decals, I guess is what you would want to call this right here. They also got stuff right here, nice little poster, and then they have something up at the top of there. That's what they had for Kirby Air Riders a few weeks ago. And then they might have something They do have another one of the same thing right here. But that's all that we're seeing inside in terms of like promo stuff. They got a little bit of a different poster behind, or cardboard. Don't really know what you would call that, but yeah, that's pretty cool. And then they have actually this right here. Check this out. I think this thing looks really cool. This giant, I don't know what you would call this, a giant cardboard poster. I see they're also promoting the Switch 1 edition of the game right there. You know, this is going to sound crazy, but I hope to at some point buy the Switch 1 edition of the game. Not today, of course, but I want to have all the first party Switch 1 titles and physically own them. And the only things that I'm missing are like the Pokemon DLCs and then Pokemon Legends ZA Switch 1 version, and now Prime 4 Beyond Switch 1 edition. But I'm not seeing the amiibo here. I was going to try to show those off, but it doesn't look like they're available. So let's look at their games. We're here at the Switch 2 section. Here's the game right here that we're about to pick up. Crazy. This cover looks so awesome, and then they got the Switch 2 edition stuff all over it that just messes everything up with the text. That is a little unfortunate. That's just the one downside, I feel like, of the Switch 2 edition of games. In terms of anything else, I don't think anything new. Well, actually, I take that back. We got Assassin's Creed right here, which if you guys haven't seen, I just did a video review yesterday on this game. You guys should check it out, because this is probably one of the weirdest Switch 2 games I have ever played, to be honest. Especially a third-party port for both Switches in mine. That was a really weird experience. But that's all I'm seeing over here at the Switch 2 section. So I'm here at the Switch 1 games, and I don't really think I'm seeing anything that's really catching my eye here in terms of cool stuff. In terms of stuff that I don't see too often, this is a game that I've not seen. It looks like GameStop forgot to get some of the ceiling off. That's interesting. But I haven't seen that. This looks like a very interesting game. I think interesting is the word I would use for that. In terms of other stuff over here, I don't think I'm seeing anything that's like, whoa, that's an uncommon game. Because, yeah, no, I think this GameStop's been getting hit recently with their Switch stuff. I don't feel like they have as much they used to have at this one. So, yeah, I think it's time we go ahead and get my pre-order, which actually, I do see something that I don't see too often. The Skate XL game. I think this is bad on the Nintendo Switch, but I know a lot of people bought this game because there was no, at the time, new Skate game to play. This was like the closest thing people had to like a, is it Skate 4? Is that they would be on if they made a new Skate, which they made a new Skate, but it's like a free one. I think a lot of people weren't happy with it. But yeah, this is one that I've heard people talk about, and definitely not one that I've seen in person before, I don't think. But let's go ahead and pick up the pre-order. So I got the game. We're going to go home and do our typical unboxing. But as I was about to leave, I just noticed something. They did a Metroid Prime 4 case. That's pretty cool. I gotta be honest, though. Actually, that's a good protective case. PowerA did pretty well with that. That's pretty cool to see something like that. I think I heard that they're releasing a PowerA controller as well. That basically is just this, but in the form of a controller. Nothing too special. It's not like a pro controller or anything like that. But this is really cool. I wasn't expecting to see that. I remember when PowerA used to do this all the time for really the early Switch cycle with the Switch 1. They did it with Splatoon, Zelda, Mario Odyssey. They did cases for everything. So it's cool that they're starting to do that again with the Switch 2 games. So hopefully people pick this up, because this is pretty cool. And it's a different type of color, I feel like, that you would normally see for a Switch case, which that's obviously the purples, the colors of Prime 4. So pretty cool. All right, friends, we are back from GameStop. While I was walking out, I noticed that they had a little holiday buying guide right here. I wonder if Nintendo looked at the video that I made, or if it was GameStop. Oh yeah, it's a GameStop buying guide. Maybe GameStop took some advice from my own video. But yeah, they got all the big Nintendo Switch 2 games that have recently been coming out right there onto the cover, which is pretty cool. In terms of anything else that's in this book, I mean, it's just your normal stuff that you would see in a buying guide. Just highlighting all the big releases. Got some third-party stuff right there. They got the overpriced amiibos, including the Meteoroid ones right there, which is pretty cool. But yeah, this is a nice little cool thing to have. I mean, not something I expected. I feel like we've not had stuff like that in a long time. So it kind of feels nice to have something like that back in the 2025s, because you would see stuff like that all the time 10 years ago. But that's besides the point. You don't care about that paper. You're here for this type of paper. The Meteoroid game. We're going to unbox it right here, right now. The reason why games are $70. This plastic ceiling. Now, I got to be honest. I was thinking about it. This Switch 2 edition was an extra $10 because they sell the Switch 1 edition for 60. And I think for $10, considering the version of the Switch 2, like the stuff that you get, like being able to play this game at 120 frames per second is kind of crazy to me. I'm actually really looking forward to trying that out. When they announced that, I couldn't believe it. I also was kind of surprised to learn that Prime 4 on the Switch 1 is appearing to run at a locked 60 FPS. Which I guess at the same time, I shouldn't be surprised if the Switch 2 is able to run this game at 120 frames per second. I guess it makes sense. Just for whatever reason, I thought that game was going to drop frames, especially with it being into the later cycle of the Nintendo Switch 1. As we've seen a lot with those games have an issue with the frame rate. Like things like Splatoon 3, for example. Which all these games are totally different, I'm aware. And I guess, you know, with this game being in development so long, it's kind of crazy that it's finally here, because I remember when it got revealed at E3 2017. So now that we're finally here opening the game, it's just kind of crazy. And I'm never going to forget when I saw that trailer at E3 2017, I called it that this game would be a multi-platform game, that it was going to end up on the next Nintendo console. I've said that on this channel for years, and for that to finally have happened, it's just crazy. I know I'm talking too much. Let's go ahead and open the game. The plastic ceiling, the reason why games are $70. Oh, the value. All of it is gone. Oh my goodness gracious. Value. All gone. This is the front of the game. This is the back. Oh, I forgot to take this plastic ceiling off. Now the game is truly not $70 anymore. The back looks pretty cool. You know, this back gives me throwbacks to how games looked. Actually, no, I don't know if I want to say that. It still doesn't do the greatest of jobs showing off what the game is. But, I mean, this is a better back cover than most of these other stuff that's happened in today's gaming, where they show you images of the game. That's besides the point. Let's go ahead and take a look inside. You guys get the first look. Normally, there's some pretty cool art. I'm expecting that there will be cool art. I feel some sort of book right here. What is that? Oh, another Nintendo Switch Online book. Okay, that's pretty cool. We'll go ahead and take that out. And yeah, there is a really nice Samus cover art right there. I think the one downside of these red cases is that you don't get to see the inside cover as much because of the red coloring, but I still do like the red cases, especially since I'm, you know, obviously a big fan of red. As you can see, that's kind of my colors here on this channel. But yeah, pretty cool. And let's take the cartridge out. I can see that this cartridge is not getting the max approval, which again, I know that no one cares about the cartridges. Why is this not focusing? Focus. Focus. There we go. Look at that. It's literally just the logo. The background is not even that special. Like, you could have put a render of Samus right there. Like, you have the space. Look how much space you have there to do stuff. Like, you got this giant space right here of nothing. Nintendo, what are we doing? At the same time, though, I'm the only one that points these things out. No one cares about what the cartridge looks. They care about the insides of the cartridge, the game. And we didn't buy the amiibos. Like I said, I'm not going to spend, I guess it would be $130 on 3 amiibos. I mean, guys, that's more than the game. Think about it. You're spending more on amiibo than the actual game, which is insane. I hope to get them at some point, but not right now at those prices. The Tarif prices are absolutely insane right now, and amiibos have definitely been hit hard by it. But guys, that's going to be the end of this video. Did you pick up the game? Let me know what you think. Are you enjoying it? I'm about to play it right now. I cannot wait to start this game. I will probably have an impression video come out at some point. Just want to put a lot more time into this before I put out that impression video. So it might come out early this week, or oh, I guess it's not early this week. Later this week or early next week. Guys, make sure to backslash that subscribe button, like the video, check out the Twitter, Discord, Instagram, all that good stuff in the description below. Become a Monado Marine, $5 a month, helps out the channel tremendously, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!